All right. Man, I sound wonderful right now. I sound fucking great. There's always issues, there's always problems. Everyone's always going to be faced with difficulties, but it's how you react to these things, how you push back, or fucking just absorb it. You could absorb it for a while and just, marinate. But that's not really what I'm trying to talk about. What I'm saying is that a lot of people are asking me, like, Jay, why are you even starting to do a podcast, bro? Like, and it's not even a funny one. You're not even trying to be funny on your podcast. Like, what's the purpose of your podcast? And so I'm reaching out to people and I'm trying to find out how they got to where they are, because they're doing something that either inspires me to be better, or no, that's it. Bottom line, they're doing something that inspires me to be better. So I'm not bringing anyone on. Like, they either doing something that it is outside the norm, of their being, or of the human existence, and they're doing something that is maybe uncomfortable to most. You know, uh, and that's saying a lot. That that might be putting a lot of pressure on the people that I bring on after this. But nah, fuck. Like, take four. You know, and that's really why I started this whole podcast, is because people have been asking me lately, like, Jay, why have you started a podcast? And you're not even trying to have a funny podcast. You're not even having like funny topics or anything. Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny 24/7. Who the fuck is funny 24/7? The fucking ass clown. That's who. No, but what I'm saying is that whoever I bring on is because they're doing something that is outside their comfort zone, and I that kind of inspires me. So I'm kind of curious on their thoughts and takes on how they got to where they are, or or how they're getting to where they want to be. So, yeah, in episode 4, I lost my audio. The lighting was off. There was a lot of interruptions, but you know what? Like, there was a lot of great convo, and for me not to put out the podcast because I dropped my audio it wouldn't be fair to my guests. So, uh, my next guest has gone through her own personal adversities, so whatever.
Something good.
I'm always like this. All right. Oh, my headphones. Here's mine. No, not those. Don't go those. They're always, because I'm always moving shit. Always trying to improve. Because I'm gonna probably wear this stupid, silly gamer. Oh no. This is why we have backups so quick. Dog, I took my headphones. Where are these? I'm tripping. Fucking dicks. Let's hear consent. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a professional. This is gonna bother me.
Nothing wrong with getting my headphones.
Test. Yeah, we can hear it. Oh.
Okay.
Alright, type. Okay. So what's the next step?
For me?
Yeah.
Like after school, after work, like what you mean?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I think it's the car outside. No?
Bro.
I was like,
There we go. Damn. This is shit I deal with. Okay. Yeah, what's the next step in life? Like, what's the next commitment?
well, school is a really big commitment, but like right now, my kids. like Christian's in middle school right now, and he's about to enter 7th grade next year. So I guess just really being there for him.
Okay.
You know? I mean, obviously, I'm not forgetting about Caleb, but Caleb's entering 4th grade. That's a little easy. But I've always said I wanted to make myself more available when my kids go to middle school, because growing up, that's when I needed my parents.
Okay. Why?
Just everything you go through. Middle school's hard.
Middle school is hard. Middle school sucks, dude.
Middle school sucks. Your hormones, your friends or not friends, or friends one day, not one day, you know?
Oh, that
and
sounds
then bullying.
Your experience sounds way more traumatic than mine.
Oh, no, my middle school. Well, as girls, females in general, I think the bullying is horrible.
Give me a day in the life of a 7th grade girl.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, I'll give you a story.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
horrible though. So one day I'm sitting in the cafeteria, we're all just talking or whatever, and I turn around and these 2 girls that did not like me ran across the cafeteria hall and slapped me. Both of them, like back to back. Christina now would not have let that went down. That would not have happened. But Christina back then, yeah, that was just the beginning of the day. Yeah, I think later on that day, the reason for that was these other group of 7th grade. This was when I was in 6th grade. This group of 7th grade girls followed me down the hallway, asking me, "Did you kiss him? Did you kiss him?"
This was after the slap.
This was after the slap.
Oh
That was the morning.
Was...
I'm sitting there waiting to go to class. We're literally barely eating breakfast.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So then later that day, I have a group of 7th grade girls following me all the way to my locker, asking me if I've kissed this dude, which I didn't, but they needed someone to blame, I guess. I don't know. And they all cornered me into my locker. And I don't know the point of that. They didn't get the answer they wanted, but just kind of threatened me, you know? Yeah, it was bad. They're like, "You ever get near him again, we're gonna like beat you up and this and that." That was a day. That was a whole day.
It sounds like it still lives in your head, like rent free.
No, rent free. I can recall all the bullies. So yeah, no, literally, no grudges.
No, yeah.
Let those things go. But when my son entering like 7th grade, that does come back, you know.
I feel that. I heard a quote the other day, was like, when people lash out at you, it's because they're scared of your potential, and you're afraid, and the only reason you're not reaching potential is because of self-doubt.
That's a really good quote.
Or something like, I could be messing it up. Or
I could definitely see that now, like being grown, but I guess as young girls, I think it had to do with a lot of insecurity, you know, or being pretty, you know.
I've heard this.
Yes.
So like, I've heard, okay, I came from a public school. I don't know what kind of school city. Public school. Woo! Public school. Diamonds in the rough. That's what I'm talking about. No, so I have friends who have been homeschooled, and I've had friends who have had international schooling, like military, right? And I've heard that bullying amongst women is way more like levels than of men, or than 100%. The boys. And when I thought that was insane, because I remember growing up, bullying was like, meet me in the boys' locker room and you want to fight. If not, you're a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And so you got your ass kicked, and if you snitched, then you're a bitch. So as long as you wore your bloody nose in class, you're good.
See, that sounds so easy.
No,
I would rather do that every day than what I went through.
No, my face hurts after a while, dude. Like, so my nose is so crooked. Seriously. But then friends would tell me, like, girls are vicious.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, where does the driving force come from? You know, I always thought, like, when you're in public school, it's like 24/7 on the bus, in class, in cafeteria, on the bus ride home. And when you're homeschooled, you're at home. Where are these pressures coming from? And they explained to me that's like from club sports, from magazines, from TV, indirect pressures. And I'm just kind of like, I wasn't even allowed to listen to rap until 6th grade. So I don't understand that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? No lo entiendo.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot, like, I think obviously how you grow up has a lot to do with it. I was very, like, I couldn't really talk to my parents, so I wasn't like taught a lot going into middle school. So of course, like my mind was like, I wasn't told any different. I wasn't told don't pay attention to boys or don't yes, don't dress this way. But with my parents telling me that, I wanted to dress that way, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot growing up, like because our hormones are all over the place, and then you don't know your place, and you're trying to find your friend groups, you know, and obviously boys are the root of it as girls. 100%.
Boys are the root.
Boys are the root, especially like when with a lot of the times that girls would get into it with me, or I would get into it with girls, it was always over a boy. Or because this boy said I'm pretty, or I don't know, my boyfriend said she's pretty or something, you know? Like for me, I think that was a lot of it. But I think even when, unfortunately, like I was part of a bullying group, like who would do the bullying.
Oh, you're the mean girls?
Okay. Well, that turned around very quickly. Okay, that turned around very quickly. Like, well, I was part of a group of mean girls, yes. And it was just random. One day, didn't like what shirt she was wearing, you would make fun of her.
Wow.
It's horrible. Horrible. And then it definitely got turned around to me later in the year. So 6th grade was really rough. But by 7th grade, you find your people. You find your sport. I became a cheerleader. I was in sports. I was very athletic. So I found my group of friends.
You found your passions.
Yes, yeah, and that made things easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you found something to commit to, basically.
Yes.
So would you say you almost found something to stand for?
Yeah, I think so, because if you would get in trouble, you wouldn't play.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or you had to keep your grades up, or or like when we would, even when like running, when we would run, we had like these 3 girls who were not as fast as obviously like the top athletes in the class. We would go run with them. We would go back and help them. Like it's just a unity, you know? So I think, yeah, in a sense, you do find something to stand for. Yeah.
So, okay, so in that sense, then, like, commitment on choices. So when you decide, now obviously we're adults, so we understand, like, the outcomes or consequences of our choices and responsibilities. So how would you, if you were to do something new, right? Let's say like a new hobby like skydiving. I'm just throwing shit out there. I don't fucking skydive. I don't even know there's skill involved. I'm sure there's skill involved and there's math involved from the ground coming up at you so fast.
I'm sure you gotta pull that parachute somehow.
Exactly.
You come watching the ground.
Just take a training video. But like, how do you stay committed to something after like failure, or after like you like, I suck at this, but I'm gonna keep going?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could use my gym experience as an example. Like, when I first started off in the gym, I was like horrible at everything. Like looking back at my form, the workouts I used to do, or it was horrible. I'm like, oh my god, how could I hurt myself? And here I thought I was like, wow, I'm like looking really good, feeling really good. But after a while, I did lose that. I just like going through some hard life stuff. I stopped going to the gym, and getting back to it was rough. But once I was like, this makes me feel good. This helps me mentally. I have somewhere to go, and I'm not like when I don't want to be out in the world, that helped, that commitment, just the little like things that like got me to go.
Okay.
Is that
the things that got you to go, like
the reasons,
okay,
like, the reasons that got me to like keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that all builds into that.
So do you think it came from like all the like external forces pushing you back to the gym, or you had to be like, no, I'm going back. This is my time. This is for me. I don't care what's going on. It's not so much that you don't care what's going on, but like, this can pause. I need these 30 minutes to like sharpen my sword.
Yeah,
and get back out there.
definitely that. Definitely yourself. Like, um, because like, I mean, who wants to go in for 2 hours and literally tear your muscle fibers?
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who wants to do that? Like, who really wants to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. I mean, I am now. I'm doing this for so long, you know.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like it was a mental fight, and I think that mental fight is important because once you get through that, you can break through anything.
I agree. I would 100 and 1000% agree. Have you ever worked out hungover?
I have. Just recently, actually. Not hungover. Actually, I went to go get drinks. I was like, I'm not gonna drink a lot. I'm gonna chill a little bit.
Right.
Had like 2, 3 drinks
Just
and drank some water. And I was like, man, I gotta go to the gym tonight. Went to the gym. That was hard. That was hard.
What was the what
I was like, yeah, no, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm a little drunk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fine.
You're a badass, dude. You're a fucking badass. I would have gone home. I would have.
Well, you talk about commitment. I've been committing to 4 days a week. I was like, I'm gonna get it in today.
Hell yeah.
It's Thursday.
That's what's up. Yeah. No, hell no. I feel with me, I would have been like, we're going to McDonald's. It's bad. It's not good or healthy.
Yeah, McDonald's is horrible.
It's so bad. It's so addicting. It's so addicting. So like I don't want to give him any more like airspace.
Yeah.
F whatever.
No,
Mickey.
don't eat McDonald's.
But okay. So what drove you to go there? Because me, I would have been like, nah.
That whole, like, I guess that whole commitment to myself, since we are talking about commitment, it is really that. It was, I have been working out 4 days a week. I've been consistent. I cannot ruin that this week just because I want to go and drink, you know.
Gotcha.
And even like drinking at the time, I was still watching what I drank. Like, I didn't get no like big old margarita or anything.
Oh, the fishbowl.
Yeah, I just had like 2 small drinks, something I could handle, and then I started drinking water. As soon as like I started seeing that it was time for me to like go, you know. It really is that. It's like I cannot let that get in the way of my goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's is there a fitness goal, or is it just to be overall healthy?
Oh my gosh, fitness goals is rough.
Okay.
It's always this or that. It's either I'm bulking, I'm leaning, I'm in the middle. It just really depends also on the season. Like for right now, I'm in the middle. Like I'm eating a lot. I'm eating what I need to eat to lift the weight I can. But then I'm also like, man, someone's coming looking a little thick. You know? So I was like, man, I need to lean out a little bit.
No.
So I was like, I need these muscles to pop out a little bit, you know, like especially like around
the
like
lines,
my stomach.
the
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
I got you.
I'm like, I need these abs to pop out a little bit. So I'm like, let me lean out a little bit. But yeah, that goal's always changing. But it once I pick one, like for instance, if I'm bulking, it changes everything. It changes my meal plan. It changes how much I eat in a day. It changes how much I'm lifting, how much I'm like what muscle groups I'm focusing on and stuff. So, or the other way around, when I'm leaning, it changes everything again.
Right.
So there's definitely seasons to it.
How do you stay consistent throughout the day? Like, I know you got the commitment down, right? But how do you do the little things right every time? Because like I'm bad about if I don't like diet. I hate the word diet.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's
No.
so it's a life choice. So like when I decide to like actually give a shit, I'll stop buying the fries and just get the entree, and then slowly, okay, no more entree, and then, but that takes me months or weeks once I've finally been like, okay, I'm a little chunky, I'm a little heavy-winded, like no, and then I start sprinting and doing other things again. So I'm always in like a ebb and flow.
Okay.
So how do you stay on that upward trajectory? Like how do you keep improving every day? That's how I am with like other things, but I guess I just answered my own damn question. Like, okay, so how do you stay true to the things you care about?
So a lot has to do with first routine. Routine matters a lot, especially as you get older. You're gonna realize you need routine. I mean,
Yeah.
as one of the things I've learned is like, oh, I've gotten older. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're out of my routine. I'm like, this feels weird, you know. But another thing is how you feel like internally. Like for one, like I said earlier, like my meal plan is gonna it's gonna benefit or not benefit what I'm lifting. You know, so just the nourishment for your body.
Okay.
That really is what it's about, and that's how I stay on track. Like, don't get me wrong, every now and then, you know, I could go get some wings, or that's like 2-3 times a week actually. Like, but every morning I drink my protein shake. That never stops. Literally 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I'm like, okay, it's time for my protein shake. I make my protein shake. That's every morning.
That's like your center point, or like your rock, like that's your comeback to this.
Yes.
Okay.
And like yesterday, someone threw away my banana at work. I was so upset. I was like, how am I gonna drink my protein shake now? So I had to skip my protein shake. I was like, okay, well, I'll just So, and I can't even like right now because I'm like kind of in a like bulk. Like I can't skip my breakfast, so I had to eat a yogurt and a beef jerky. But still, it threw me off to where in the evening I had to drink my protein shake. I had to eat my dinner, so I'm over here just full. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, well now I don't want to do anything because I'm full.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Routine matters. Like if you just that helps the consistency. Hopefully that answers that question.
No, you're good. Like it's hard. It's hard to be consistent. Like comedy's hard to be consistent. That's my own perspective right now. But like I remember when I was working in the medical field in San Antonio, I had a straight 16 shifts. Yeah, because of staffing, and when you're in lead position, you're like, well, it's you or nobody.
Yeah.
No. And I'm like, well, I guess, right? Yeah. And I think the only thing that kept me consistent in that moment was the job, was like getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
And then like once that initial feeling of like accomplishment wears off, it's super minimal. It's not long lasting. Like it's really something I didn't care about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like people, in my opinion, people will really put themselves into something if they care.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like your 100%. Fitness or like your health, your career, you know, things like that. Relationships, if they really give a shit, they're like dive in. No. Sorry. So commitment. Okay, I'll be honest. I suck at commitment. I'm not one for commitment.
You don't have a girlfriend, right?
No, look at where I live. We're fucking.
Hold on, just make sure.
No, dude.
Like, is your girlfriend listening?
No.
Okay,
good thing. No. Everyone who's seen my comedy knows why.
No, because I'd be like, I'll find them.
So, and it's hard because there's a lot of external forces that are gonna try to derail you.
Yeah.
And you don't see them coming sometimes. They may be coming from your support system. They may be coming from something that you had nothing to even fucking deal with, right?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with things that like they're not there specifically to like hinder you, but they are taking your time. You know what I mean? If they're not taking your time, they're taking your attention.
Yeah. Oh, that's my kid.
Damn.
I'm like, that's just like my kid.
Damn. So if you need to get something done, don't have any kids. Don't have kids. They're gonna see this.
That's okay. I'm one of them bucked in kids' parents, and my kids know it. But because I take care of my kids.
Okay. Know? So you have that playful relationship.
Yes,
that's
they know.
What's up.
They know.
Okay. So they're very much. So before woke was a word, I used to say awake. So I remember growing up, like certain kids would be more awake than others. So when I say this, is like some kids found out about Santa Claus sooner than others.
Oh, yeah.
So like some kids get woken up faster than others.
My kids are alive. No, my kids come for you.
Get that wallet.
No, literally.
No, and coming from different circles, I've seen parents that like, you know, drink in front of their kids. I've seen parents that scream in front of their kids. I've seen parents that smoke in front of their kids. I've seen parents that like ship their kids off somewhere else to like a boarding school and things like that. So that's really cool that you have that banter relationship, because that's what I had with my parents growing up. But I could never play with mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my relationship with my 12-year-old. Like, we grew up together. Like, I had him when I was 16. So my relationship with him is like, he'll test me sometimes. I have to buck up to him and be like, do not forget. Like, we'll be playing ha ha he he, you know, and then out of nowhere I'm like, hold up, like, I'm your mom, chill. And he knows. He's like, all right. Now my 9-year-old, I'm mom, so he could play with me, but as soon as he sees me like get serious, he knows that's it. We're not playing. Whereas my 12-year-old will test me.
He'll push the boundary.
Yeah, he will push it. Yeah.
And he's only 12.
I know.
He's a good-looking kid, dude.
Oh, he's so handsome. He's so handsome.
Good luck. Good luck.
Know,
All right. So, okay, so commitment, consistency.
Sorry.
How do you keep? How do you keep your routine? Like, I try so hard to stay on routine. I have a calendar. I have a planner. I need an assistant.
Yeah.
But I'm the only driving force in my routine.
Yeah.
So like, if I didn't set all this up, call you or message you over, the podcast would have never happened. You know what I mean? If I don't if I don't drive to Laredo and Corpus, I'm never gonna know what it's like to perform in those cities.
Yeah.
So how do you keep
going?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm like thrown off, because that's what you were kind of asking earlier, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, for one, I do have to, like I said before, my kids, like, at the end of the day, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? And it's not, and as adults, we can just not do it, you know, we could just not do it. But for me as a mother, I cannot not just do it, because if I don't, it's not just me, it's my kids too. They suffer for that. So like, I'll go through some like depressive episodes sometimes, and even then I have to get up. Like, hey, y'all want to go to Slitterbond? Let's do it. We're in Slitterbond while I'm just sad,
just crying on the inside.
just on the tube, floating, making sure my kids don't drown. It'd be like that. But,
I believe you. I've seen it. All the moms.
No, literally. I'm like, oh my god, are you drowning? Pick them up. You know? Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. But when I get thrown something like, and that throws me off my routine, I just gotta work around it, you know. And my thought process is everything's always gonna work out. And I've been through situations where, like, a lot of situations where I'm like miserable, and I'm like, this is never gonna get better. This is never gonna get better. But I don't have that mindset no more.
Okay.
You know, as I've gotten older and I've gone through these situations, that mindset's changed. We literally have the capability to get through anything. Like, you gotta live broke for a little bit. I can't go to the gym for a while. That's fine. I'll do home workouts. You know. Let's see what else. Like, what can be thrown at me?
You lose your job.
I lose my job. Guess what? I'm a hustler. I'm gonna get 2 more jobs. I gotta work 2 minimum paying jobs. I'll do that just to make up what I was working.
Right.
What I'm saying is, we have the capability to do anything, and that's what I do when my routine is thrown off. I just make a new one, or a temporary one, if you want to say, until I get back on my own.
I'm with that. Dang. Okay, so you're in the school of thought that anything is achievable.
Anything.
Okay, given with enough time, and so you're in the school of thought that work will always outwork talent.
I mean, I think it depends also, like, what you're trying to achieve. You know, obviously we live in this world.
Right.
You know, But for me and what I see, I guess what I gotta do with my life, um, I could do it. And I think, like, look at you, like you said you started like on TikTok, and you literally explained while we were like talking. You literally explained the steps on how you want to get to where you want to get. You're tired of that.
Give my secrets out.
Well,
No, I'm just playing.
I thought we were recording.
No, I'm playing.
But that's just it. Like, that's what it is. Like, for me in my life and what I see, I'm already taking the steps to do that. So yes, anything is achievable. I mean, if you can't sing, you can't sing, though.
Facts.
That's the only dream that, if you can't sing, you can't sing. But every other dream is achievable. I mean, let's be real. That's okay.
So if you tone deaf, you tone deaf. I can't got nothing for you.
Yeah. I mean, you can keep trying, I've seen people who can't sing get famous. That's okay.
So honest.
Well,
I can't. That's awesome. That's pretty much my career. I can't still get this shit.
I believe you.
No, it's great. You're making me sweat.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That was hilarious. I was like, damn, am I getting roasted right now? Oh my god. No, okay. I am from that generation where, like, I am part of that whole participation trophy generation.
Oh, yeah.
Millennial.
Yeah. I still believe in that.
Do you?
Yes.
Why?
Because, okay, like, I know they're like, you didn't win if you didn't win type thing. But my kids go out there and they give their all. They deserve something for that.
Yeah, pizza party.
Okay. You can get a little trophy. It ain't gonna hurt them.
I'll disagree. Because I think okay, so I'll explain.
Okay, categorize the trophies then.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a little bit of participation.
Yeah. We got the MVP.
Right, okay.
And we got y'all who tried your best.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that. Okay. That's fair. There needs to be levels.
Yes, there you go.
The reason why I say that is because people need to feel that burn. You know what I mean? People need to feel that failure. People need to feel like if you gotta be broke for a little bit, you gotta be broke for a little bit. This is gonna be a terrible example, but I remember in the 4th grade that we had this big old science project, right? It was on simple machines, so like the axle, the pulley, the inclined plane, like all those, right? And in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna knock this out the park. I'm gonna tie a little string on a hanger and call it a pulley, call it a day. It was all confident. I know, like, all right, done. I'm gonna play my video games. And the day of like presentation showed up, and everyone had these like extravagant experiments or simple machines.
Their parents did that.
Oh my god, I know their parents did that. I know for a fact their parents did. They had like real ass pulleys inside the box and shit. And
they pull up with the actual pulley.
No,
they drive up.
They did. Seriously, the box was bigger than the kid. And I'm just kind of like, and then I go do my little presentation with the hanger and like a little string, and I'm like, this is a pulley. And I just felt so defeated. Like, how dare I even go up?
Yeah.
And like, I'm pretty sure I got a passing grade. I don't know because I went up and did something.
Yeah.
I got my participation.
Okay.
But that feeling of like, I want to say inadequacy, or just kind of like seeing what everyone else achieved when they put the effort forward. Even if their parents help, right? I never ask for help. That's my biggest that's my red flag.
Okay.
I don't ask for help.
Good to know.
I don't ever ask for help. I need to be like drowning with like a pinky out of the water, and like
does not ask for help.
Ever. You can ask everybody and anybody. Like it's just a trait.
Yeah, I think it's normal for our generation as well.
But I'm gonna drag everybody with me. Like if I win, we all win.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I just felt so defeated in seeing everyone's like badass project that I was like, I'm never gonna do that to myself ever again. If I commit to something, it's all in. If I lose, oh well, I'm a loser for a day. But tomorrow, and it's because I don't ask for help. So I found ways to like work around, which isn't good because then there's times where I'll strain, pull so hard that I get irritable, and it's just all the things. So commitment and consistency for me is a constant struggle. Um, because I have so many ideas or wants, so it's hard for me to like commit to one idea or buckle down. I've always been a believer of like finger in every pot.
That sounds like ADHD.
Yeah. No, it's exactly what it is. That's what everyone keeps telling me, but I'm like, y'all are liars.
We don't believe in that.
I refuse. I refuse. I refuse to go to the doctor. I have all.
I gotta do an egg.
Straight up, dude. Like, who you telling? I have a gala. Like,
same. No, I do though.
You do too?
Yeah,
Oh no.
well, it fell off, but it's fine. I'm getting another
This
one.
has been on for 10 years.
Wow.
Through the river, chlorine water, through
That's
I
strong.
don't take it off ever.
Oh, okay.
And I used to wrestle for tournaments, like that doesn't come off. I'm surprised, and it's blessed. I'm no sequia from
something
from the Euphrates River of Europe.
Okay. That worries me.
Sabe, dude, my grandma before she
sabe.
passed. My grandma blessed it before she passed. So I'm just kind of like happy that it stayed on so long, dude. So
yeah.
Dang, I don't know where we're going with that.
Oh, anyways, yeah.
So that's why I find it so hard to do so many finger in every pot.
Yeah.
Finger in every pot, and so like I'll like drive 1,000 for like 72 hours, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do anything for the next 6. But this didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I've had to make a lot of sacrifice for my commitments.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with people that maybe don't agree with your sacrifice?
Well, I get that a lot actually, like from my mom. But I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, what sacrifice? Are you talking about like any type of sacrifice, or you have a specific one?
No, not necessarily. So, like, say, like, would you So, how do you? I say sacrifice. And a little bit inside of me is a little bit selfish because I have sacrificed relationships for what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Like I've had people approach me like and want to have a relationship with me, but then I have to turn around and tell them like, look, a relationship with me is XYZ, and they're like, that's not a relationship at all. I go, no, that's a relationship with me.
Yeah, yeah. Put your boundaries up.
Exactly. Put my boundaries up. So I've learned that not many people or like are with this lifestyle. Like I'm out until 3 in the morning at bars, at clubs, there is no time for any it's because I don't carve or make the time, but I'm so focused and driven on my goals. It's that it could seem selfish to an outsider.
Okay.
So when you're like, so yeah, let's say it's a friend's birthday and you're like, I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah. No, that happens. Well, I guess a lot of that sacrifice comes like within myself, and the reason I say that is I have to work out like really late at night because I work all day and then I get home and I have to do mom stuff and then put my kids to bed, and then that's the time I have to go to the gym. So I sacrifice a lot of my sleep.
Yeah.
We talk about sacrifices here. That's a really big one. So, but I have to do it because, like, again, it's for my goals, and my goals they're the one thing you could be selfish about, I think sometimes also will sacrifice. I think my mom gives me a hard time about this too, being young and sacrificing some time with my kids. I'll make it up, but like still wanting to, do the things that everybody got to do when they were young that I didn't.
You mean?
Like for instance, like like still going out, or like every now and then going to go get a drink, or dancing, or yeah. I didn't get to do that. For one, I was in a relationship, so a very toxic one. I was not allowed to go do that, or
really?
just how I want, or
really?
Nothing. No.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. And then I had 2 young kids, and it was harder then than it is now. No, my kids they love when I'm hungover. they tucked me in there. Mom, you don't want to sleep all day. We're gonna make ourselves some cereal and play our games. So now it's just like easier. But like to my mom, she still feels like she's like, you're older, you're a mom. Why are you still doing those things? And I'm kind of like, I work all day, every day. I hustle. I go to school. You know, my kids are straight. I take them to practice. I take them to games. Let me have this little 4 hours. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's still time away from my kids. I realize that.
Right.
You know. So I guess that's like one of those sacrifices that you're talking about.
Or I wouldn't dwell too much on that. So my parents, they weren't absent, but they were very much not involved in the sense because they were building a business. So like I remember I would go to, like, I don't know if you remember, like they would do like college after school talks or whatever for the parents and give out flyers or like stuff like things to do to make sure your kid goes to college. I remember I would go to those meetings instead of my parents, and like I would meet all the other parents, and they would look at me like, "Where's your mom and dad?" And I'm like, "They're like killing it right now, like, with the job." So like as awake as your boys are, is what it sounds to me. I think they have enough capacity to be like, "Mom's good."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like even now, like I I blame my parents or my family for giving me kind of a convoluted sense of work ethic, because so growing up, my parents have always been the people like, um, get straight A's in school, get a good job, become a lawyer, get a doctor, yada yada yada, nurse. As long as you do it, go for it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I see them making this like multi-million-dollar business on the side, being in the service industry and construction. I'm like, well, you're saying one thing and doing a whole nother. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And so I learned at an early age how to run a business just because of my family, right? Through the hardships, 2008 housing crisis, all those things.
Yeah.
So now, like, I'm completely grateful that my father has taught me a trade. So if like the world went to shit, I have something to do still.
Okay.
So it's really hard to define like the right things to do, or what's going to be the best outcome of your choices and sacrifice. Like, okay, you went out for 4 hours, but like those 4 hours of a good time, you get dopamine hit, you get social interaction with people of your peers that celebrate you and your accomplishments, that remind you of all the goals that you like, that remind you of why you're doing it. Basically. So like a lot of people get caught up in like the work, but they never enjoy the egg. So like you gotta enjoy the egg.
No, I enjoy the egg.
Look at my eggs, dog. Chill out.
Nah. 10 years of not enjoying that. I'm enjoying.
That's what's up. I just remember, if I ever had children, I was told like my girlfriends at the time, like if that ever happened, like I'm probably gonna join the military. It's just a given.
Okay.
One, because of the GI Bill and all the things all the benefits that come for, no matter what happens to me. You and him, her are good. I'll do 4 years. I'll do 6 years. Okay, sure. Okay. Like, you know, it's just time to me on that cycle. But I've been so selfish and committed to my goals that I've never allowed myself for that to be an even option. So here we are. Like, so it's kind of like it took me 10 years to really go for my dreams, to really go for the things I wanted.
Okay. Same.
Yeah, no, because I think in your 20s or maybe early on in your years, you're doing all the things that you think you're supposed to do. Right? You're committed to making your family proud. You're committed to like leaving a legacy. You're committed to like being rich super quick. Like those things don't happen, right? Not to me, or not to my peers. You know what I mean?
Not in here.
Not in this room. Not in this room.
That's okay.
But I mean, once you start to like really go for your goals, like I remember telling my family, like I want to move to LA. I don't care if I live in a van. I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
They're like, no, you're stupid. This is no. I'm with you on that boat.
I'm like, but that's awesome.
but they gave me some reality.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
They're like, why would you start? Why would you make something that's already hard harder on yourself? So it took a lot of like communication and talks of like things that I wanted to do. They were like, live here, live with us. We'll support you as a family, as a unit, and allow you to do those things. So because of my support system, I'm able to do the things I want to do so consistently.
Yeah.
Right. If I didn't have them, I would have to figure out something completely. So I would probably look way more tired and like working two jobs. Yeah. So like, do you have a support system to help you to get to those consistencies or commitments?
100%. I wouldn't know what to do without my village. Like my parents are literally co-parents to my kids.
Okay.
Like, and that's what allows me to make the money I do right now. Mm-hmm. That's what allows me to be able to like go out if I would like, you know. That's what allows me to for them to live comfortably right now while I'm hustling.
Okay. Yep.
For our future.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, without them, I wouldn't know what to do. Like I think about that all the time. I'm like, oh my god, if I didn't have them, who would pick them up? Who would make them half the week dinner? Because I get home like 6 o'clock, my kids are starving. My mom's already like, oh, I made something, you know. So without my parents, which is my support system, like I would not be able to be doing the things I need to do to secure their future.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's hard to the people. Obviously, not everyone has parents as blessed as we do.
Yeah.
Right. But you still have to have a support system.
Yeah.
So how do you not cherry pick, but how do you find those right people to be the people to catch you?
Yeah. So, well, I have like my best friend for one. She's amazing. Literally anything goes down. Like if I'm about to break down before I get home, and I obviously cannot see my kids see me like that. Mm-hmm. Like I call her. She'll answer. We talk through it, and like I said earlier, I surround my people with the same type of mindset I have. So that's important to find people in your circle who think like you, because me and both her are like, why are you tripping? We literally give the same speech to each other. Why are you tripping? This is gonna get better. This is not even a bad situation. You're just feeling really emotional about it right now. Literally, she'll tell me straight up, or I told her straight up. I'm like, this is all gonna blow over tomorrow. Like we're good, and we're good, you know. And I have and then it took some time, but finding the right kind of people, like I'll trust my kids with her any day. And then I have these two other really great friends, which I met one friend through the other. But that bond has grown so much where if I trust my kids with you, you're my circle, you know? And even then, they give me different perspectives. And like, I feel like that meeting new people and meeting their perspectives, like it grows like your mindset too, you know? Like you grow. You're like, wow, I did not think of that way.
Yes.
So, them too, like if I need them, one I work with, and when I'm just going through it at work, I'll go to her and I'll be like, this is going on, and she's like, okay, we're good, you know. That's how all of them are, like, and me too. Like we're always like, we're good, like look at us, we're young, we're making money, we can have anything we want. Why are we stressing over this little thing right now? So having that support is what's guiding me through so many situations. So it's not just like if I need them like to take care of my kids, which is the biggest thing to me. If I trust you with my kids, I trust you with my life. But also like with my mind, you know, and because we all go through things. So if I could get people to get me through the craziness that happens sometimes in my mind, that's all I need. That's my support.
That's it. So you have to have, you got to have people that remind you of your commitment and consistency is one. But then what you just mentioned is probably like the biggest factor for people like me that don't ask for help, the people to check you.
Yes. 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 They do that. If I'm like derailing a little bit, they'll be like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You can't. Like, you know, like get it right, get straight, get it together. Like, this is not you." And they know when that's happening because we all have our telltale signs, you know.
Right.
So definitely, like, you don't ever. I don't really ask for help either.
Red flag.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not scared to though. If I need help, I'm gonna ask for help. But I don't really. I like to get through. But that's just like I said earlier. Like I have a hustler mindset. Whenever I need to get through something, like I'll find all my options before I ask for help. I'll find that option. I'll find that solution. That's just me though. You know. So it's not really that I don't like to ask for help. It's just like I'm gonna do this myself first, and then if it absolutely cannot, then I go to who I need to go to.
Absolutely, you know? Absolutely. So first, you gotta find the things you're committed to.
Mm-hmm.
Find that support system to keep you consistent,
Mm-hmm.
right, and to check you when you're acting out of line.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said it all, man. This has been your business. Thank y'all.